In a small Italian village, a wandering cricket named Jiminy Cricket sneaks into the house of an elderly woodcarver named Geppetto, who lives with his pet kitten Figaro and goldfish Cleo. A man comes hoping to buy one of Geppetto's cuckoo clocks, but he refuses because he loves his clock so much. Geppetto has completed work on a marionette based on his young departed son, which he names Pinocchio. Before falling asleep, Geppetto makes a wish on a magical star. At midnight, the star shines light towards the puppet and brings him to life. Jiminy is surprised to see Pinocchio alive and tries talking to Pinocchio, but he only repeats what Jiminy said. Soon, Blue Fairy visited the house and used her magic to undo Pinocchio's string, fix his speech, and tells him that if he becomes brave, truthful, and selfless, he can become a real boy. The fairy also fixed Jiminy's clothes and designate Jiminy the responsibility of being Pinocchio's conscience, to teach him right from wrong. Geppetto later awakens by the sound of shutting windows and found the puppet surprisingly alive. At first he is shocked, but soon becomes overjoyed. After that, Geppetto taught Pinocchio many things, and they live as a family. Later he sent the puppet to school. On his way, Pinocchio before long drawn closer by a fraud fox named Honest John and his accomplice Gideon. Honest John convinces Pinocchio that he should be famous to truly be a real boy, but his hidden agenda was to sell him to the puppet master Stromboli. Assisted by a seagull named Sophia, Jiminy finally managed to convince Pinocchio to continue going school, but Pinocchio was thrown out by the teacher because he is a puppet. Honest John has Jiminy trapped under a glass jar and deludes Pinocchio once again with his evil plan, but this time he succeeds. Old man Geppetto becomes worried when Pinocchio does not return for dinner. He takes Figaro and Cleo to look for him at school, but find nobody there. He also failed to notice that Jiminy is trying to get his attention. At Stromboli's puppet show, Pinocchio becomes fast friend with one of Stromboli's employees, Fabiana, and her puppet Sabina. Fabiana was a former dancer whose career ended after a leg injury. At first Pinocchio makes mistake, but later he managed to pull off a good performance for the crowd. After that, Stromboli cruelly locks him in a bird cage to prevent him from leaving. Pinocchio becomes dejected and Fabiana comes to cheer him up. Somehow Stromboli's coach accidentally freeing Jiminy from the jar. Jiminy managed to catch up to Pinocchio, but found he is in a cage. When Jiminy finds him, the puppet pretends that he did not enjoy the fame, or even wanted it in the first place, causing his nose to grow longer. This gives Pinocchio an idea to lie so that the nose grows long enough for Jiminy to reach the keys to the cage and free Pinocchio. Once freed from Stromboli, Pinocchio is swiped up by another coach full of rebellious children driven by a charismatic coachman, who is taking all the boys and girls to Pleasure Island, where misbehavior is encouraged. Once there, Pinocchio gets disturbed by the brutality the kids display, which amuses an irresponsible boy named Lampwick, who he befriends. Meanwhile, Sophia finds Geppetto at the beach and gave him a flyer of Pleasure Island to let him know where Pinocchio was. Later on, Jiminy finds that all of the children have turned into donkeys, and that the coachman sells them to the salt mines with help from his fog-covered shadowy henchmen. Pinocchio witnesses Lampwick's transformation at a billiard hall as Pinocchio gains a donkey's ears and tail. Pinocchio and Jiminy manage to escape the island before the coachman and his goons can get them. The next day, Pinocchio and Jiminy make it back to Geppetto's home, but found the home was empty. Sophia was there and told them that Geppetto has sold all of his clocks to buy a boat to go to the island. Pinocchio then reunites with Fabiana and Sabina, who tells him that Stromboli has been arrested by the Carabinieri for the abuse of his exploited employees, and they have taken over his puppet show. They offer Pinocchio to join them as a headliner, but Pinocchio declines as he wanted to save his father. Pinocchio's donkey parts disappear, signifying that he has made a right choice. Jiminy told Pinocchio that Sophia knows the direction to Geppetto. Sophia then pulls a rope for Pinocchio to hold out to the sea, where they soon find Geppetto in his boat. While catching up to him, Pinocchio tells him about the adventure he had. Just as they reunite, they are swallowed by a giant sea monster named Monstro. They take refuge in a giant boat in Monstro's stomach, and Pinocchio gets the idea to get them out by lighting a fire inside Monstro's mouth, which will cause the beast to spit them out. It works, but Monstro spots them and chases after them. Pinocchio uses his legs as a propellers to push the remains of the boat toward a cave, which Monstro crash into. When they make it back to the shore, Geppetto is unconscious. Believing his father has died, Pinocchio mourns over him, and a magical tear falls from his eye on Geppetto, reviving him. Geppetto tells Pinocchio that despite being a puppet, he has proven himself to be a true boy at heart. Pinocchio becoming a real boy, but doesn't confirm them, stressing that Pinocchio has a brave, honest and selfless heart, and that he's fully real to his proud and loving father. Pinocchio and Geppetto depart for home as Pinocchio's limbs appear to turn human. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.